Welcome to Barbara's Bulletin. I'm your host, Barbara, and we're glad you're joining us today. We've got a packed show for you, filled with the latest developments from around the world. Let's dive right into our first story. We're taking a closer look at the complex situation unfolding in Syria, where Russia has been making significant moves to capitalize on the country's economic instability. According to recent reports, Russia has been shipping large quantities of oil and diesel to Syria, despite Western sanctions on the war-torn nation. This development comes after the ousting of former President Bashar al-Assad's ally, Iran, which had previously supplied Syria with oil. The Russian tankers have been arriving at Syrian ports, delivering much-needed fuel to the country, which has been struggling with an acute shortage. However, it's worth noting that these shipments are not without controversy. The tankers involved have been sanctioned by the US, EU, and UK, and have been using tactics such as turning off their transponders or entering false destinations into the automatic identification system to avoid detection. Experts say that Russia's actions are driven by a desire to re-establish itself in Syria and gain leverage in the region. By providing energy supplies, Russia may be able to secure its interests and maintain a foothold in the country. Meanwhile, Syria's new authorities appear to be taking a pragmatic approach, recognizing the potential benefits of having Russian military bases as a counterbalance to other regional players. It's a delicate situation, with many players involved and multiple interests at stake. As we continue to follow this story, we'll be keeping a close eye on how it unfolds and what implications it may have for the region and beyond. We'll be right back with more of today's top news on Barbara's Bulletin. Welcome back to Barbara's Bulletin. We're halfway through our program today, and I'm excited to dive into our next story. As we've been following the developments in international media, a significant update has caught our attention. The U.S. government has shut down a satellite that transmitted Radio Free Europe, Radio Liberty's Russian-language program, into Russia. For those who might not be familiar, Radio Free Europe. Radio Liberty is a Prague-based station founded during the Cold War to counter Soviet propaganda. It reaches almost 50 million people in countries including Belarus, China, Iran and Russia, broadcasting in 27 languages to 23 countries. The station's CEO, Stephen Kappas, confirmed that the U.S. Agency for Global Media, which oversees its operations, terminated the satellite contracts carrying current time to Europe. This decision affects the 24-hour Russian-language current time channel's broadcasts to Russia, Ukraine, Central Asia, Eastern Europe, and other regions. While RFA-RL has other means of reaching the Russian audience, this move raises concerns about the accessibility of independent media in the region. The U.S. Agency for Global Media has not commented on the matter, but Kappas expressed his disappointment, stating that he believes the Trump administration would like to see the radio shut down. It's essential to note that RFE-RL is a vital source of information for many people in these regions, providing an alternative to official propaganda. The station has been facing funding challenges, with its budget frozen by the U.S. government. This latest development adds to the uncertainty surrounding the future of independent media in the region. As we continue to monitor this situation, it's crucial to consider the implications of such decisions on the global media landscape. We'll be keeping a close eye on any further developments and providing updates as more information becomes available. Stay tuned for our final story of the day, right here on Barbara's Bulletin. Welcome back to Barbara's Bulletin. As we wrap up today's show, I want to bring to your attention a story that's been making waves in the world of education and international relations. The Trump administration has been cracking down on student visas, leaving many international students in the United States facing uncertainty and deportation. According to recent reports, an increasing number of students have had their visas revoked or their legal status terminated, often without clear explanation. This has sparked concerns among university officials, who are struggling to understand the criteria being used to target these students. Some have been accused of participating in anti-Semitic or anti-Israel activities, while others have been cited for minor infractions such as traffic violations. The situation is particularly alarming for students from countries like Saudi Arabia, China, and India, who make up a significant portion of international students in the U.S. Many of these students are sponsored by their governments or rely on scholarships to pursue their education, and being forced to leave the country can have serious consequences for their academic and professional careers. University officials and advocacy groups are speaking out against the crackdown, arguing that it undermines the principles of academic freedom and cultural exchange. They point out that international students bring significant economic benefits to the U.S., contributing billions of dollars in tuition fees and living expenses each year. On the other hand, some argue that the administration's actions are necessary to ensure national security and prevent foreign interference on American campuses. They claim that some international students may be using their visas as a cover for espionage or other illicit activities. As with any complex issue, there are valid concerns on both sides. However, it's essential to approach this topic with nuance and balance, recognizing the value of international education and cultural exchange while also addressing legitimate security concerns. As we conclude today's segment, I want to encourage our listeners to think critically about the implications of these policies and their potential impact on the future of international education in the U.S. It's a complex and multifaceted issue that requires careful consideration and thoughtful discussion. That's all for today's Barbara's Bulletin. Remember to like, share, and subscribe. And until next time, stay engaged.